Good day to you wherever you are watching from. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. In continuation of our Bible study, we are discussing the summary of Genesis chapter 3 now. Genesis chapter 3 has 24 verses. The story is captured on the fall of man. How sin entered the world through disobedience. How Satan was able to convince the woman to buy into her trade. Yes, the Bible describes Satan so crafty. But then the desires of every man is what Satan used. The lust of flesh, the lust of eye, and the pride of life was a bait that Satan used. So that is how man fell in the Garden of Eden. Sin was introduced into the world. Then secondly, the disobedience of man was captured in Genesis chapter 3. Everything that happened, how God told man to eat of every tree in the garden, save for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life should not eat from. But Satan was able to convince the woman, and the woman took the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and ate and also gave to the man. Then the consequences of sin. And the Bible captured that Genesis chapter 3 that when man now ate and their eyes were open and they discovered that they were naked, they were ashamed of themselves, they went to go and hide. In the cool of the evening, when God was coming to come and have fellowship with them, come and have koinonia with them, he called upon Adam. When God called him, he said, Adam, where are you? Because he went to go and hide in between the trees in the garden that was filled with all manner of beautiful trees and beautiful fruits. God was now asking for Adam. He said, I am naked. This is why I am hiding, because he was ashamed of himself because he was naked. So the consequences of sin brought nakedness, separation from God, lost of fellowship. And when they used their mouth to confess, God now had to respond. So the response of God was showing us that to separate himself intentionally from the natural environment, he went to go and hide. And God said, how did this happen? They responded to God by telling God the woman first. Adam connected the woman connected Satan. That story was all explained in Genesis chapter 3. And after the response, then God now made pronouncements. Those pronouncements are key. The first thing said, talk about the Satan. Because you have deceived the woman to eat, you are going to crawl your belly all the days of your life, and dust shall be your food. Then the woman, he said, your desire shall be for your husband. In pain shall bring forth your offspring. Then to the man, he said, because you are taken from dust, dust you shall return. Death was pronounced. And he looked at the man and said, all the days of your life you shall toil this earth before you eat. One fundamental thing that happened there was that even while God was making this pronouncement, he said to the woman, he said, your offspring shall bruise the head of the serpent. The serpent said, the offspring of the woman shall bruise your head, meaning a foreshadow of Jesus to come and restore us to the original plan of God was also pronounced in that same Genesis chapter 3, that chapter. And after then, another very important event that happened was that when God has finished responding and also making places curses on Satan and judgment on the man and the woman, he looked at them, they were still hiding. Because the Bible says when he asked them, he said they used fig leaves to make clothing for themselves to cover their nakedness, which was not enduring. So the Lord had to make arrangements, kill an animal, take the skin, and make proper covering for them. He shed blood to make proper covering for them through the killing of an animal. And after he had done that, He looked at them and he said, because you have done this that I say you should not do, you have eaten from the tree that gives the knowledge of good and evil, that the forbidden tree. If we leave you to stay here thinking that you will change, you may just put your hand and take the tree of life, which means the tree of the knowledge of good and evil made them already like God, who they were actually. But that tree, because that was the slugger Satan was able to use to capture them. Then the tree of life, if they eat, he said they will live forever. So as a result, God said, no, I will not allow man stay in the garden. And they know how to expel them from the garden, banish them from the garden. He did not just banish them from the garden. He said he put a cherub to stay at the gate of the garden with blazing sword so that none of them can come near that beautiful garden. The garden that God prepared for man, planted for man to have koinonia, to have freshness, to live and have peace, where sickness was not supposed to be, where death was not supposed to be. Right now, the consequences of that sin brought suffering, brought pain, brought hardship, toiling, brought separation, drove them from the garden, brought pain, and brought death. Consequences of sin. All of this is captured in the book of Genesis, chapter 3. For details, you can read, then you just discover that you are getting better. If you watch this video and you are blessed with it, please follow for more other chapters in the Bible. The essence of this is to help your busy schedule, that you are able to just stumble into this video, get the summary of every chapter that you hear us talk about. God bless you. Shalom.